Stevie the Scotsman. I have one other video on YouTube, that's a bagpiping video. Done my time in the Royal Air Force, basically putts with cars, and I'm trying to keep this Nissan Sentra alive. It's a 1.8, I think it's a QCDE engine. Basically, here's the problem. The harmonic balancer, aka crankshaft pulley, is totally disintegrated. The rubber is completely worn on it. I got quoted $500 here in Wisconsin. I'm like, you know what? The car's probably, in its present condition, it's probably not worth much more than that. I thought, you know what? I'll have a go. So basically, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of misinformation, how to do this type of work. I'm just showing you what worked for me, and hopefully it can help someone out there on YouTube world. So I've already got it back together, but I'm just going to walk you through the steps and what I actually had to do. The first thing you're going to have to do is get off this crankshaft bolt. Now this is an automatic. What works for me was using an impact gun. This is a 27mm, I believe, bolt on here. I used an electric impact gun, got it from Harbour Freight, like 20% off, it was like $30. Obviously you can use air. It's got 250 pounds of torque. Just put it on there and you can basically get it off. There's other ways to do it. This worked for me. That's what I would recommend. Okay, so once you've got the bolt out, now you're going to have to get this off of the pulley. What worked for me was, I went to, I think it was Advance Auto. I paid like $25 for this 2-jaw puller. You ain't going to get a 3-jaw puller in there. I ended up actually having to cut away some of the metal here so that I could physically get this puller on here, and obviously when you take it off, you put it behind here. This is a 6-inch puller. As I said, I'm not plugging any companies. I happen to just get it from Advance Auto. Make sure it's horizontal. Back it out, obviously, and it will come off. Alright, now that you've got the old bad boy off, now you've got to get the new one on. Obviously, there's a keyhole here. Put a little bit of engine oil on the shaft there, just to lubricate it. Now, obviously it's only going to fit one way. Now, you have to go out and rent a tool. It's a Harmonic installer balancer kit. You can get it from Advance Auto here in the States. You know, I ended up getting it from Advance or AutoZone, O'Reilly's, these places. You pay $110, it's free basically when you take it back. So basically you pay $110 up front, you rent the tool, you get your money back. It comes with a thrust bearing. The actual instructions are pretty much idiot proof. So just take your time, make sure you get it on there. Now, the important thing is when you get that on, this needs to be torqued down. This bolt will need to be torqued. So I'm going to talk about that next. Alright, now that you actually have the pulley on there, we need to tighten this. We actually need to tighten up the pulley. Now, this bolt needs to be torqued about 130 pounds per feet. What I found useful was I actually went to Harbour Freight. For $30 you can get a drive digital torque adapter, which you can then attach to the breaker bar, and you can see what the torque is. This is a 2-man operation. I had a cheap and cheerful chain wrench from Harbour Freight, which is a piece of junk, as you know. You get some good stuff there, but there's also some garbage. I went out, bought this 24-inch chain wrench from Amazon, OTC 6969. Basically, find a trusty assistant, and by all means use like a heater hose or something to protect the pulley. So basically what you'll end up doing, you'll have someone have the chain wrench in the pulley, basically going upwards, and you will actually be torquing it obviously downwards. And we got it to about 100, 110 with 2 people. It's a challenge, but you can get there. As I said, people out, I'm sure there's guys in the field who use an impact gun. I ain't going to use an impact gun, that's just me. So at that point, we have the harmonic balancer on the vehicle, torqued to the specific settings, And then, now let's just talk about getting the belts on there and making the adjustments. Alrighty, so now we have this puppy on here. We've got to get these belts on. Obviously, get your old belts off. This is what I found. There's not a lot of information, and there's a knack to this. This comes with 2 drive belts. In this case, I've got a compressor, and basically on the other side I've got a power steering. So there's 2 belts on here. I think when this took a dump, basically the 6 ribs went down to 4 ribs. So I went out, purchased 2 belts. The one thing I want to mention, I actually got the Harmonic balancer from Rock Auto, paid about $120. So that's just a bit of information there where I got the part. Belts, pretty much, hey, you can get them anywhere. Probably, if you keep in the vehicle, buy some decent ones. Alright, so now, first things first, obviously, put the rear belt on first. Now, you're going to find that there's an idler pulley just up here, when you reach your hand up here. Just right above here there's an idler pulley. There's like I think it's like a 14mm or a 12mm bolt. Loosen that bolt, and then you see attached to the bolt there's actually like a threaded bolt on there that's really hard to see, but it's just above the compressor, and it's basically like a 12mm adjustment. Now the problem I had was, even with this loose and you move the pulley, you still don't have enough room to tighten this up. And it's not like a regular tensioner where, you know, you would pretty much pull it back. Whoever designed this is a numbnut. So what I ended up having to do was bring the alternator forward. So I'm going to take you to the top of the vehicle. It's going to be tough to see, but I can at least give you a ballpark. So here, obviously we have the alternator. What I ended up doing was took off the bracket here, unplugged the connector, took off the air strap. Now, at the bottom of the alternator, you can feel there's 2 14mm bolts that this alternator pivots on. What I had to do was pretty much loosen them and physically pull this alternator towards the vehicle here, so that you then have enough slack to get this belt on. It's a pain in the butt, takes a little bit of patience, but it can be done. As I said, the secret is loosening the alternator here. That's what worked for me. Okay, so the final thing here to do is get the power steering belt on. In my case, it was easy enough to come off, but when you find when you're tightening it, that it might not move. There's basically a threaded bolt here with a lock nut. Now, you see the bolt here that runs right along the top there, obviously, and as you turn it counterclockwise, loosening the nut, then that's obviously how you loosen it. And if you want to basically tighten it up, then you go the other way. Now, the thing to be careful of, you have to loosen the lock nut at the back of this thing. So my advice would be loosen the lock nut and then basically tighten the nut, and then it will move. Because it's been on there for so long, then you may have problems, but it's really important that you loosen that lock nut. That's what I found out.
Okay, we really hope that this video helped you learn something and hopefully get through the misinformation that is out there and doing it easier way. If this has helped you in any way and you want to pay it forward, an organization that we have created is helpingthehumble.org. Any donation is helpful, and it just goes directly to individuals in need. God bless you. Have a good day.